Okay, we're going to cover your clicker rules so that you don't make mistakes that are meaning that you won't be able to use it in the future. We do see a lot of people coming back to week 2 of class, they make the very same mistake, so we're going to cover it and make sure that you can have that in your minds when you're using it in future in your games for the classes. So these are clickers, there's 2 different shapes, you can get lots of different shapes, and they literally click, click, and that's how you use it with your dog. When you're using it with your dog, you are going to be clicking for the thing that you're looking for. So I'm going to use sit as an example because it's the easiest to visualize in your head. If you were using a clicker to mark a sit, you would be clicking as soon as the dog's bum hits the ground. So it would be their bum hits the ground, you click, and you offer them a bit of food. So you're going to always have your clicker matching up with a bit of food. You need to make sure that anytime your dog hears this click, whether you were right or wrong, so quite often you'll have these like in your pockets or whatever. Make sure if your dog hears a click at any point during a training session, they're getting a bit of food. So even if it clicks because you bent down and it clicked in your pocket, your dog's still getting a bit of food. If you click it when your dog is doing the complete opposite of what you were wanting to click, you still give them a bit of food because that was your mistake and not theirs. When you're using a clicker, you're always matching it up with a bit of food like that. So if you are going to click once, they get one bit of food. Click once, one bit of food. So it's not click, click, click food or anything like, it's just one click, one bit of food. And when you are using a clicker, try and make sure that nobody in your household is playing around with the clicker. So quite often, because it's got the button here, you'll see people that will pick it up and just, and your dog's like, oh, what we doing, looking for what you're doing and what you're working on. Your clicker's excellent to use in a family setting because it's the same sound for every single person that is working with the dog. If you've got different tones of voice, so if you've got females, males, if you've got young children in the house, everyone sounds like that when they're working with the dog. It's good for that, but it also means that the people that are using it need to be using it in the same way. So every time you're using a clicker, you're going to show a game in your programme. It's going to be the very first game that we do called Focus Game. That is the one that you would use for week 1, just your clicker for that, so that you can get used to using your clicker. You're going to be using this to mark when your dog looks back at you. We'll describe it more when you actually see that game happening, but that for week 1, just play that game with it, just get used to the clicker. When you're using a clicker with your dog, you'll see that this will start to get your dog's attention. Please don't use it for that. It's not a remote control for your dog. This is a marker. So it's basically going, yep, good job, that's what I wanted. Click it, you're saying yes to that. So if you don't want to use a clicker, you can use a marker word. But the clicker, like I said, is really good if you've got more than one person working with your dog. So if you're using it for marking the behaviour, again, we'll use the sit for example. You're going to ask for the behaviour. So depending on what level your dog's at, you would say your cue. Your dog will perform the behaviour sit, so their bum will hit the ground. You'll click once, you'll deliver their food, and that's how you would use your clicker. Don't then use this in the future. We see a lot of people, like I said at the start, in week 2 of class, because they very quickly see that this gets your dog's attention, they'll go, oh, I heard a click. That is how people then start using it wrongly, where, for example, if your dog's out in the garden, you're shouting for them to come in, they're not coming in, they'll click, your dog will come running. That's great, yep, they're coming in, but what you've clicked is whatever they were doing outside that you couldn't see. So if they were digging up your flowers, if they were in eating at the rubbish bins, whatever they were doing out in the garden, you clicked and went, yay, good job, come and get some food for that. They've ran back in the house and you're in your head, you're going, that was great, they came back in. And your dog's head, they're going, I need to go back out and do that again and get another click. So that's the mistake that a lot of people make, and they come back in week 2 and they go, oh, it's really good, I used this to get them in, this is the recall. This isn't a recall, this is marking a behaviour that you want. So anytime you're clicking, you should be able to see what your dog's doing, and they should be doing what you want. If you're clicking and you're doing it in the right timing, so you've got it and your skill's there, you're clicking for what you're looking for. So for the sit, you're clicking the bum hitting the ground, you're feeding for that. For example, if you clicked wrongly, say you were working on a sit and you clicked but the dog's bum had just raised up already, it's fine, still feed them because they heard the click and just work on your skill level. That's what's good about this. There's no mistakes. Like if you've done it wrong, the dog doesn't need to know you've done it wrong. You just feed them and carry on, and there's no negative to it. It's just you clicked at the wrong time, carry on, that's fine. Okay, so just to recap your rules for it, it's marking the behaviour that you want. One click gets one bit of food. If you click wrong, your dog still gets the bit of food, and you're only using this when you can see what your dog's doing and they're doing the right thing. So if they're outside, you're not clicking because you can't see what they're at. So When you're using your clickers and you're finished training, make sure they go away completely, because everyone in the household will pick them up and they'll click away at them and it ruins it. It becomes white noise for your dog. That's why it's so important that it's click, treat, so that these become quite important to your dog and they're working for the click. So make sure you're having fun with it. Don't worry about getting your timing perfect straight off. It's a learning game for everyone. That's why we put focus game at the start of everything, and just have fun when you're playing with them.